I'm about to start reading The Atlas 6 by Olivie Blake. I'm pretty excited about this book. I don't really know where my expectations lie because some people are like super into it, and then other people say that it's missing the mark and that there's too many characters, not enough development. So we'll see what I think about this, but either way it's fantasy and I'm excited to go through the ride of it. The concept of this book is pretty fun as well. It's basically like 6 powerful like magic wielders, I believe, who kind of go into this school to try to earn the ranks to be part of this like secret society, and I'm pretty sure that some of them probably have to like kill each other, so it definitely has like that Hunger Games, Fourth Win kind of feeling to it, so that's always like a vibe for me, so I'm very excited about it. And look at this cover, look at that. I really like it. I think it's really cool. You know, sometimes you flip through pages before you read a book. That's what I did. And like, this is pretty. I love when books have this. Like Starlin House had this as well, and it immediately makes me want to pick up the book and read it, even though it kind of contradicts the I don't like having pictures of the characters on covers or within the book, but that kind of like hand-drawn style, I don't know, that's okay with me for some reason. So yeah, let's crack this book open and see what it's all about. Pages into this book now, and so I'm going to kind of share my thoughts on it so far. My thought so far is that this is incredibly boring. Like, it just kind of feels like someone's just telling you something instead of you being able to like see what's happening. There's like a lot of characters, there's like 6 main characters, and it kind of goes through like each of them being approached by this guy named Atlas to kind of invite them to the orientation to be part of this secret society. And the secret society is basically like the Library of Alexandria. It didn't actually disappear like in real life. It's more like they use the like analogy of like a phoenix, like it burned so it could be reborn, and so it kind of like moves in different locations, which that in itself is interesting because it's like they recruit people who are like super rare with like their magical powers to kind of go to this Library of Alexandria, like this society, and kind of like learn and have access to knowledge and kind of like defend the place. But I feel like nothing's really happened yet. Like, I know I'm only 100 pages in, but like my eyes were like glazing over when I'm just like going through the pages, because it really does feel like there's like that rule, like show don't tell. It's not really showing anything, it's just telling you, and you don't really feel the characters. Like right now I don't care about any of the characters at all. Like the only ones that I kind of like a little bit, I guess, would be like Nico and Reina, but every other character I'm like, I don't really care. So I'm really hoping now that they're kind of like, they've been in the, like they did the orientation and they fought some bad guys who randomly just like broke in, which they explain why they broke in, but I don't know, it just, that whole thing just felt really weird to me as well. And so now that that's over, I'm hoping that it's gonna start to pick up in speed, because I don't want my eyes to glaze over anymore, and I really want to like this book, but so far I don't. So let's continue to read and hope for the best, I guess. Point, I'm dropping this book. This is probably one of the most painful to read books I've ever read. Like, I don't drop books, ever, but this, oh my goodness. 171 pages is all that I could do. It's all I could bear. There's no plot, nothing happens. I don't like any of the characters. Like, they don't have really like any personality aside from being snarky, snobby. No one trusts each other. The writing is really lackluster. Like, again, there's no plot. There's nothing happening in this book. And I was like, maybe it will get better. And then I get to like at least 171 pages and I'm like, I'm not enjoying this book. So I went on Goodreads to see if it's worth it. Like, if something good happens. Nothing good happens in that book. And all of the characters, like, the way they talk is like, not only is it super pretentious, it's also really badly written. Like, usually when I'm reading a book, I'm not looking at the words. I see the story, like pictures in my head. This book, I didn't have that. I read this book like all day. Only got 171 pages, which is ridiculous since I've been reading since 11 o'clock. And it is 4:08 p.m. right now. And that's only 171 pages. That is probably the slowest I've ever read anything in my entire life. It feels like this book was written just for people to take quotes and put them on their Instagram. Like, it's just like randomly like deep and edgy kind of like quotes and stuff. And that's pretty much the book. I feel like I have not hated a book like this in such a long time. The last book that I dropped was last year, and that was Age of Vice. But that was nothing compared to how poorly done this book was. And I feel really harsh and like mean saying that, because of course, like, as an author myself, like, writing, like, you put your heart and soul into it, you love it, and it's like a baby. It's like, it's yours and you want to share it with the world. And then it's like someone being like, oh, your baby's ugly. And that's how I feel. I don't want to be mean, but I think the criticism is necessary, and I'm by no means insulting the author. I'm just saying that the book is not well done, and I think that I found out there was no editor, it was self-published, which kind of explains a lot. And I think that if it went through like an editor and all of the proper steps, they could have cut out a lot of and they could have cleaned it up and encouraged the author to like adjust the phrasing and the wording and all of that. So yeah, I feel guilty about it, but yeah, I do not recommend this book at all. I'm giving it 0 stars. Goodreads, I had to give it 1 star because they don't allow you to do 0 stars. But yeah, unfortunately, the Atlas 6 gets 0 stars, did not continue, and I'm very disappointed in that. So fortunately, it's the way it goes. I read a lot of books, and so hopefully this is just the only one I don't like of the year. The only thing that this book did have going for it is like the pictures in it were pretty. Like, let me find one. The pictures were pretty. That was good. And I think it had like the right idea, but like nothing was fleshed out. Like, the characters were flat, the writing was flat. The idea itself, I think, had potential though. Like the Library of Alexandria, and like that existing and people pursuing knowledge, and like the whole theme of like knowledge, like how can you use it for good and keep it away from using it for evil, like that whole thing. Like, I think the idea is good, but the execution wasn't. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notification. That way you get notified anytime a new video comes out. As you can tell, I'm very passionate about books, and I read a lot of them and I make a lot of videos about them. So if you're into that kind of stuff, definitely hit subscribe. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and comment down below. Did you like this book or did you not like this book? Because I know there's some like really die-hard fans, like all over Book Talk, like saying it's like a really great book. So I would love your perspective if that's you, because it's always nice, you know, like challenge other people's perspectives. Like, I did not like it at all. However, I'm interested to know, like, if you did like it, like, what did you like about it? Like, what stood out to you? And if you didn't like it, we can talk about that in the comments as well, because sometimes it's just good to vent when a book is not what you wanted it to be, you know? So with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!